Oh, son, what's good, my boy? Today you read the title, Privilege is a Tool, so use it. Now, I see a lot of people. This is nothing new. They blame other people's privilege and their lack of privilege on not having the shit that they desire in this world. And that is a process of never-ending diminishing return. I've been seeing this shit go on, at least I awareingly noticed it, back in 2016, whenever all these people were shitting on Trump, saying that, because some people would say, like, oh, Trump is this genius with business and all this, and then you'd see people be like, he had privilege and all this shit. Then a lot of shit happened with race relations during that time, and this whole white privilege thing just blossomed like crazy. And I think since 2016, this white privilege shit has just grown more and more and more. Now, this video isn't on that, but that's whenever I first started noticing this. And I start noticing it, I never really blamed my privilege. I was a degenerate. I was 300 pounds playing World of Warcraft all day, but I still never really remember a time where I'd look at someone that had something that I wanted and been like, oh, he must have it because he got lucky, or he was born to rich parents. It just always seemed like diminishing return to me. Like, what the fuck was I gonna gain from that by just shitting on someone who had a little bit better circumstances? It's just a rabbit hole that you keep going down. Oh, well, this has something, and it's because of this reason, and my economic status, and my parents, I'll never get higher than their level and on the economic scale and all this shit. I'll never make it out of the middle class, because it's just bullshit. I see that streamer Destiny talk about this shit, about how most people can't make it because I got lucky and all this shit and I had all this privilege, and it's just it's just stupid. I promise you, no matter what economic class you're in, there's somebody that's had it worse off than you that has done it better than you. Have 5 kids and can't chase your dream because it hinders you and you're poor? Promise you there's someone that's had it worse than you and done it better. So talking about privilege and shit like this, and a lot of people's privilege, or lack thereof of privilege, has been caused by their own choices, and they have taken on responsibilities that they have chosen to take on through making their life choices, and then they choose to blame the whole fucking society and all this shit for the rest of their life because they just feel like they're stuck, or until they wake up. Now, of course there are levels of privilege, but I believe it is a very commendable thing to see someone like an Elon Musk or a Trump who was born in a millionaire family, but try to conceive making multiple billions of dollars out of $1 million. There are plenty of millionaires who make money from a business and they don't go after being a billionaire. You know why? Because it's so fucking hard and takes such a certain set of circumstances to actually work out that it's near impossible. But these people have still done it. Not from fucking luck. Yeah, they had a little bit of privilege, a tool, and they use it to their disposal. But you also see other stories of billionaires who came from fucking nothing and made that shit happen. So that right there proves if someone can do it, then it is possible. We're not different. We're all human beings. We all bleed blood. We all breathe in oxygen. And we all think with our fucking brains. There's no difference. People like to put these people on pedestals who have achieved great things instead of realizing, hey, that person's human too. You see all these fucking celebrities that have $200 million like a DiCaprio, or all these Hollywood celebrities. And they get super fucking tired of paparazzi. Why? Because they have feelings just like everybody else. I've read a story that said Tom Petty never went outside. Rick Rubin said this. Tom Petty never went outside his fucking house because of how much he hated paparazzi. Imagine you. And this is a privilege that you have compared to someone with $200 million. I want you to put this in perspective. Imagine you and your family go out to a nice Italian restaurant. Nobody's going to fuck with you. You can sit there, laugh, and cut up and have fun. Those people have to talk and take pictures with people, and if they don't, then someone's going to call them an asshole and shit on them and make them feel bad because they won't take a picture with them because they just want a quiet evening alone with their family. They've lost that privilege. So privilege happens on all different levels. Some people might be born with an excess of privilege and never have to work a day in their life. Now, they might also not have the privilege of being fulfilled through actually achieving their dreams the hard way. So there's a privilege you have that they don't have. You have to look at this from all these different frames and perspectives to truly expand your mind to what you think is possible for yourself. If you don't do it, then you'll constantly be stuck in this fucking comparison game of being like, oh, well, he has this and I don't have this, so there's no way for me to do this. But it doesn't fucking matter, dog. It doesn't matter. Alex Hormozy has this theory where the way he questions things, and he asks and. Someone says, oh, did you know this and this, and this person has this and you don't have it, so it's harder. The statistics say that and? Did you know that it takes like this many years on average to do the and? Did you realize that, like you have it really fucking bad and this, and my parents are black and all this shit and I just have it so bad, and? You can go and to all this shit, and it's just fucking vomit of the mouth. And it all comes down to action and what you are willing to put into action to achieve what you want. So use the tool of privilege. You must be grateful for your privilege, especially everybody that lives in America. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Let's start with Africa. There are motherfuckers who don't have their essential needs met. I'm not talking about shelter. I'm talking about water and food. They literally have to have a scavenger nomadic mindset, because if they don't, and they don't scavenge for food and fucking nomadically go out and try to hunt animals, they die. There is nobody in America that has that circumstance. Oh, what about the homeless people? You don't realize that the homeless people in our country have a better quality of life than a king in the 1600s or 1500s with the bubonic plague and all that shit and their knowledge of diseases. We have a more sanitary, healthy existence. We're in the golden age of information online where you can learn anything relatively for free. But back on the homeless people, there are soup kitchens and there are non-profit organizations that have homeless shelters. They have a place to sleep and they can get their life together, and they have a place where they can get food and they won't starve. As well as we have public water fountains. Now the whole conversation whether or not it's fluoride and it's all in your brain, I don't drink that shit, but it's still there. If you're not gonna fucking starve and you're not gonna go where you can't drink, they can hold a fucking change cup and get money to go buy themselves a double cheeseburger. You can't do that in Africa because there ain't hardly any fucking roads in these in like villages and shit. Let alone, they don't have fucking change and quarters. You go in an African village, there's not gonna be someone sitting there like, free change. No, there isn't that. It's, can I please have a fucking drumstick off of that chicken, please? I'm gonna die. I fucking got my ribcage showing, please. So, you need to develop this perspective of first world privilege and the gratitude of it. You should be extremely grateful if you are born in a first world country. Especially America. People like to shit on America and say it's going to shit, the West is dead and all this shit. Fuck that shit, dog. I'm extremely prideful for my country. I am very patriotic. There we go. Because I have so many rights and freedoms. Yeah, I have to pay a little bit of taxes. Oh well, I'm not gonna fucking have a Boston Tea Party over it. Shit happens. I gotta pay taxes on my construction business. So what? I don't know how many people, that's one little tangent I want to go on. In the construction business, in the business of like Subway, fast food, dead-end jobs, there are so many people who lack gratitude. Oh man, I'm just stuck in the matrix and I can't get out. I guess this is life. You see, bro, I see the cycle in construction of people who work as helpers and hands, never start their own business or do anything entrepreneurial, which America, the freedom of being in America, not starving, allows you to pursue. They just practice doing small odd-end jobs where they can't even retire when they're older. They're like fucking 60 plus years old, still forced to work in construction to keep up with their lifestyle. That is just ignorance and a lack of gratitude because they just think that shit's never gonna end. They don't ever take the gratitude in to take action with their life. And they just stay. And then they start developing this like nihilistic mindset of like, oh, nothing fucking matters, dude. I just work. All I gotta do, I'm like a fucking peon, man. This shit is fucking stupid. I'm just a slave. You see it especially with the Gen Z forced to work a fucking McDonald's job where they're in air condition all day. You know what? Back in the fucking 50s, they didn't even have air condition. People just fucking use fans and shit. But people are like, oh man, this shit is so hard. I'm in like this kitchen and it's like hot around the ovens and I gotta like cook burgers and I'm in the Matrix, dude. I'm just in the Matrix. No. The Matrix you're in is in your own mind because you fucking have a glass ceiling on what you perceive you can achieve. You have a glass ceiling on, oh man, I'm just stuck and there's no way out and my economic class, my parents are poor and I'll never get out of it. You're just stupid. You need to do two things. You need to identify the privilege at your disposal. For me, yeah, I've had some rough shit happen to me. I've fucked up a lot of things. I spent a lot of my time just in extreme comfort. But it just all comes back to that and. Like, at 17 years old, I developed a skin disease that just caused abscesses on my body. Painful. I'd go through 100 Band-Aids a week trying to keep the friction from my legs rubbing together. Bleeding. Feeling like a fucking freak. But guess what? I looked around and I'm like, you know what? This is pretty bad. But at least I have the privilege to actually chase my dreams and the comfort of having a family who loves me and can house me while I do so. Yeah, I gotta get a job and I gotta be in the Matrix for a little while. But I'll fucking make it happen. And I'm gonna work so goddamn hard at it that it would be unreasonable for it not to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I got other ulterior routes that I can go. But so many people get in these mindsets, these limited mindsets where they're like, oh, I don't have it so bad where I just can't do it. So I'm just gonna like supplement my mind with comfort. I see these people who just like choose to play video games for the rest of their life all day. They work their little 8-hour job and then they play their fucking video games. And it's just crazy because it's like a waste of privilege. I really want to hammer home the point of someone has had it worse than you and done it better than you. If you're watching this video, the title clicked your interest. There is an inkling, a seed of chasing your dreams and going after things that will better you. You don't have to have the aspirations of being a millionaire. You don't have to have the fucking ambition of being some big mogul or making all this shit and making out of the mud, dude. You can do something as simple as live a little bit better of a life. Go to college, get a good job, and work. That ain't the fucking Matrix. That's how shit has worked for 50 fucking years. People can do that and be happy. Go and get a trade and be fulfilling and help other people. You can make a good amount of fucking money being like an underwater welder. You can make a shit ton of money in that. You go to school for it, you'll be alright. Save up money, work 2 jobs. People don't want to work. I think the problem is people understand that they have more privilege. And you can go online and be like, hey dog, go to a community of people who are like complaining and be like, hey dog, there are people in Africa who are starving. And they're like, this is what they'll tell you. They're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not in Africa. I'm me in America and I have it so bad. They'll say shit like that. Like, I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. That's the reason why you're stuck. That's the reason why you feel so bad and you have pity on yourself. I pity nobody. I remember I used to pity people who have lisps. I used to pity other fat people and shit like that. And I realized that shit is contagious. I pity no one who will not help themselves. Now, certain things I have struggled with, like older people, watching them decay, watching a great, powerful man who has once been respected, made a lot of money, helped and provided a lot of value into the world, and watching him decay as he gets older. That's something that I struggle with. That's more of an existential crisis. That's more of an existential question and shit like that. But that is one thing I struggle with. Those are things that are outside your control completely. But a lot of the privilege shit, once you identify your privilege, you utilize it and take action, you can make your world a whole lot better. And keep on asking people, and whenever they try to bring you down and stop you, and shit's gonna be hard. Shit's gonna be very fucking hard. You're gonna hate this shit if you choose to take the action route. But I promise you, it will get better, old son. Chase paper, joy nature. Remember, someone has had it worse than you and done it better than you. Have a great day.